Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 21.
Listen, before we get into that, Blair, I want to tell the people to subscribe. Before we get into that, Blair, I want to tell people to like. Before we even get into the episode, I want to tell people to subscribe. You know, because we want to get to our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Yes.
And with your help, I believe we can do it. Blair, walk us through this fun episode.
Well, we start where we left off before with
Yeah.
Keke sitting down with Mel talking.
Keke.
Now...
Uh-oh.
The conversation and how it was relayed due to editing and production and I guess protecting people's identity was a lot of honking horns, duck sounds, things like that. So
It's just bleeping out the names, that's all.
But it also kind of misconstrued how the story could have gone when it came to this cheating scandal. So I'm piecing together with what I'm able to understand of what Keke was trying to say and the parties at play.
Okay.
So I took it as the ex-boyfriend of the girl that Marsau cheated with came out with the cheating information.
Okay.
Keke said that the guy sent Tisha a message because he wanted to talk to her about it. Tisha didn't respond. And Keke thinks that Tisha has heard this information before.
Keke thinks that.
Yeah. Keke says that Tisha needs to face what's happening, and Keke doesn't think Marsau had a threesome, but she's also not for sure of whether or not Marsau cheated.
Okay.
And Mel is like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Keke talks about Macy and Mila's hair care line and how that return policy was a copy and paste from Canvas Beauty. Keke's wondering, is Tisha working with Stormi? Mel's like, from the meeting we had, don't look like it. But Mel is like, look, Tisha, she's known to be a copy and paster, so it's not far-fetched.
Listen here, Keke, I got a question for you. I got one question. How is this any of your business? Why you have to be the messenger to pass on this information? Listen here, man. This is why people are saying what they're saying about you in these review shows. I ain't gonna say it because y'all not gonna sue me. You get what I'm saying? Was it Tasha who got sued and things like that? Tasha K or like...
Yeah,
or
Tasha
like,
K.
Listen, y'all, you ain't gonna get those words out my mouth, but they saying it. Because we don't understand how this have to do with your storyline. We don't understand how this have to do with you. We don't understand why you gotta be the one to tell Tisha.
Well, the only reason I can say why she would be the one to tell Tisha is because if she's saying people came to her too, she's saying people came to her, then it would make sense for her to go to Tisha to say, hey, this is what's being said, but she's doing it so messily. Like, why are you talking to Mel about it?
Exactly.
Like, and I think she said that she tried to meet up with Tisha to talk about it, but Tisha didn't want to meet up with her, probably because cameras was going to be around and you was going to try to embarrass her. So I'm just like, I can understand you wanting to go to Tisha to let her know, but it's clearly not being done with a good heart.
Or probably the reason why I don't want to meet up with you because you don't want to see how I'm doing, or you don't want to tell me how you're doing. You don't want to make it a cousin fun time. You just want to talk to me about my husband.
True.
When I made it clear episodes ago, I don't want you to talk about my relationship.
Yeah.
Like Keke, for one, somebody pointed this out to me. I don't think Mel lives in Huntsville. Because everywhere that Mel meets, we never meet in Mel's house. Mel always meeting like at a restaurant, at a store, at somebody else's house.
Yeah.
That just is how I pointed. I just wanted to point out.
Possibly.
I think Mel don't live in Huntsville. And the thing about it is, to Blair's point, you're being messy. Do not try to make it seem like you are the knight in shining armor. Like, listen here, I just can't have that information and just like keep it to myself. That's not fair to my cousin. But you telling other before even confirming or denying or in whatever it is, you spreading, now you're gossiping.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You're giving people ammo to use or to know things that is possibly true and not true.
And Mel even asked, like, do you think it's true? And you can't even say for sure, yeah.
You said no.
He was like, I don't really think he had a threesome, but I don't know if he cheated. So what you talking for?
What are we talking about? I thought the whole premise of the thing was he had a threesome. And then you come and basically talk out the other side of your mouth saying, like, I don't think he did it, but something had to happen. Why you have to be the messenger?
Yeah.
Listen here. I don't know if y'all watched the movie 300, but when the messenger came and give that message to Sparta or whatever, he got kicked in the hole. This is Sparta, and then he got kicked in the hole as being a messenger. Keke, you about to find yourself in a world of trouble because you find it upon yourself to be FedEx, to be the mail carrier things that want to pass on messages, especially when you don't know if it's true. Bottom line, moral of the story: talk about yourself.
Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. For real.
Talk about yourself, and the less you talk about yourself, the the less you talk about yourself, the more other people is going to come to conclusions about you.
Absolutely. Because the more you talking and yelling and spitting out names and stuff, I'm just like,
okay. Don't get a suit. Okay.
What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. Talk about yourself so you can put some of these claims to rest, man. Continue, Blair.
Yeah. Well, Maurice bought Kimmie a new Jeep. This is what she's been asking for years. Yeah. He's been trying to put it off, or I guess maybe he didn't like the idea of getting her like a Jeep or something.
Oh, let me attack Maurice when it's time. Go ahead.
Okay. But marsau arrives, and Maurice talks about how, we don't have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
He even makes a comment of, now her hair is growing back. It's time to get her a Jeep.
I thought that was just a slight fun comment. That's all it was.
I don't know. I just didn't think it was in good taste. He brings up his sex life to marsau. He says he's down to twice a month, and marsau was saying, yeah, like regular normal married people. He's like, don't you have a job? You over here getting it in every 4 to 5 days? Like, what in the world? And marsau is telling Maurice, because he brings up the whole telling her it was in her mind, and marsau was like, she knows her body, and even points to him having his back injury because he's got a little waist trainer on.
He got a brace. Okay.
He got his little waist trainer on. And marsau is saying, it's just like somebody saying, you're wearing that brace is all in your head, and you can go ahead and stretch and do jumping jacks. And then Maurice get ready to go ahead and do it and hurt himself just to prove a point. You're still hurting, sir. So Maurice said that marsau was being snarky when it came to the whole meeting with Stormi and Courtney. Marsau agreed, but marsau is going to treat them like he did last year, as if he didn't really know who they were.
Yeah.
It's nothing to him. He don't have an issue. He's like, I can't fall out with people that ain't my friends.
Yeah. Let's break down this conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the question again this episode. Maurice, do you like Kimmie? I asked that question last episode because I really don't know the answer. If someone telling you what they want, like, who am I to be like, what about a Maybach? Like, it's weird. Like, why would I want to pay for something more? Like, I don't understand the logic. Like, a Jeep costs less than a Maybach. Like, why? Like, I understand, and granted, I'm not from that generation. You know how men are. Men want to do things for their wives for them.
Yeah.
I brought my wife a Maybach. That sounds way better than I brought my wife a Jeep.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Especially a popular Jeep that most people are getting now. It's a fast. Marsau wasn't lying. It's a fast Jeep.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, I don't know if the things that he does for his wife, based on what I see on the show, I'm not accusing you of anything. Is it truly for Kimmie, or did he finally get that epiphany that, remember, he said that with this cancer scare, or with this cancer thing that she's been going through, that, like, it really hit him that life is short, and that you really shouldn't hold back on things, especially things that Kimmie want, and things like that. And that's why people can judge you based on, like, a joke and be like, it was in poor taste, because you haven't shown in the past episodes that you really have Kimmie's best interest over your own. Yeah. Like, if you was always the type to, like, you know what I mean, to always put Kimmie's interest above yours, then you can say, I want her hair to blow and things like that. Then people won't view that as such a big slight. Like, I viewed it as a slight because that's probably something that I would say if, God forbid, I knew somebody that had cancer and things like that. But I care about my people. You know what I'm saying? But if you've shown patterns and patterns and patterns of basically putting your interests over, let's say, Kimmie's, for example, then people will question if Kimmie should be with you. I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far. I do believe you love her, but I do believe you love yourself just a little bit, a lot of bit more. Yeah. To where,
like, we can see the selfishness.
Yes.
And the love you have for her, and it's really off-putting.
And it's battling each other. Yeah. Because I'm like, hey, something as simple as, I see how much you love and care for her, even care for her throughout her chemotherapy and things like that. We see the love that you have for Kimmie. I'm not disregarding that. Yeah. But I think...
But we can see the selfishness,
we can see also times that you disregard what she's saying about her and her experience. And some things I agree with you with. I'm not going to lie with you. I mean, I'm not going to lie to everybody and say, oh, like, Maurice is all wrong. I probably would have asked the same question of, well, how long is the sex drive thing is going to be. You know what I mean? But I'm not asking it in a way to basically disregard and to dismiss what she's going through.
Yeah.
I'm basically asking it in a way to how can I assist? You know what I'm saying? Because Kimmie never made it a clear message that she doesn't want her sex drive back. She made it very clear, like, this is just where I'm at right now.
And she's trying these yoni eggs.
Exactly.
She's doing all these things just to try to get everything going.
Exactly. So I would have just asked, how can I assist? You get what I'm saying? Continue. Oh, I forgot about the Marsau part.
Yeah.
So far, I agree with Marsau 100%. Like, I'm not gonna be friends with no woman that calls me out my name, especially the B word.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna operate as if I didn't know them before.
I agree.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
I'm like, I'm not friends with people who call me out my name. So if she over here doing this, especially in front of a crowd and all this type of stuff, I ain't got nothing for them.
Yeah. Continue.
Next, we move on to Stormi and Courtney at home. Stormi had strep throat, and it was actually advancing, and they were able to finally get her on some antibiotics.
Yeah.
And she has to have rest now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. Courtney's bringing her tea, and we find out that Keke reached out to Stormi to check on her. And they both really like Keke.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they talk about this whole Darkwing Duck situation. It was really funny to me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like, that really tickled Stormi. So
Yeah.
that was funny. But they talk about how Tisha copy and pasted the Canvas Beauty shipping policy, and she left Canvas Beauty's contact information on there.
Yeah.
And Stormi is just really embarrassed for Tisha. She's like, she could have called and asked me. Like, I would have helped her with it. I would have helped her with the web design. And Stormi was saying, I did my own web design, and when you're able to do it and fix it and know how it works, then you're able to fix these types of things versus just having people do it for you and you get left out looking crazy.
Now, question: do you believe her?
That Stormi would have helped Tisha? I think so, because I don't think Stormi really has an issue with Tisha. Her and Tisha have like talked a few times and things were okay.
Okay.
So I feel like Stormi would have been decent.
I don't think she would have helped her the way that she said that she would have helped her. I think, like, you know how like somebody helped, like basically doing the web design for you and things like that. I don't think Stormi would have did that much help.
No, I think she just would have talked her through how to go about it.
Put it like this: I think only thing I believe about Stormi, even though like Stormi have been one of my characters that I dislike this series, I do believe that she's embarrassed for Tisha. But I think she's embarrassed for Tisha because I believe that they don't believe Tisha is smart. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like watching a car crash that like you see coming. And a lot of things, or a lot of times throughout the show, the underpassive tone, the undertone when it comes to Tisha is always some type of like Tisha. And granted, Marsau played into this too in the early seasons, so I don't want to make it seem like, you know, like he didn't do his part. Is that Tisha is not equipped to run these businesses. Yeah. Even when they showed the flashbacks, they showed her copying Mel with the logo, show her copying Mel with the podcast, show her doing all these things, basically not being innovative, but just being as little, like I said, the undertone, copy and paste. You get what I'm saying? And hearing little things like, I'm embarrassed for Tisha, I think it just comes off as like they don't really respect your business mind, your business drive. It's
kind of like pity, like, oh, poor
exactly.
She couldn't figure it out.
Exactly. That's why I don't really know if she would have helped her so much, but I do believe Stormi does feel bad for her in a pity way, or embarrassed for her in a pity way, because the way Tisha come off, it's like, dang, you really. Let's say she didn't do the web design. Yeah. Let's say she didn't do it. Let's say somebody else did it. You should have read over it. You should always read over something that people go put your name or your business or your logo on to make sure that it's right. It's something as simple as leaving someone else's contact information on that. That is embarrassing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But continue.
Yeah. Well,
Marsau? Or Maurice
and Kimmie are going to be having a barbecue. And Stormi's going, and she's trying to find out if her husband Courtney's going to go. And Courtney's like, nope, I'm not going. He said that Marsau, he likes to push buttons, and Courtney doesn't want to put himself in a situation where he got to get Marsau together.
Truth be told, even though I'm not a fan of Courtney, I don't dislike Courtney. I'm just not a fan of him. I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Like, if you know yourself and then you know Marsau just being Marsau is going to bother you, then yeah, you ain't got to be around that.
I don't even know why Stormi going. Because like you have a problem with the brother, so you going to the other brother's house.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying, to where
they all family.
So then you're going by yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know why you will put yourself in that situation, and I understand why Courtney would be like, you know what, I'm gonna be mature. I know myself. I'm not going off of the because I'm a man, I don't want nothing to happen. He just I just don't like being around him. So I'm not gonna be around him. I agree with Courtney 100% right there.
Yeah.
Continue.
Marsau and Tisha are in the office building doing some renovations, and Maurice checked to see if Marsau is good with Courtney and Stormi, but Marsau, he's not worried about them at all.
This is what Marsau's talking to Tisha about.
Yeah, just filling her in. And apparently somebody called the city of Huntsville saying that they were going to be doing illegal gambling at Black with their casino night.
The Bet on Black casino night, yeah.
Yeah, and Marsau feels like just calling the whole Bet on Black thing off and just moving different, moving forward. And Tisha, she really just breaks down crying and just talks about how it's just hard because they are really trying to do something good for their community. The funds are going to go to building up homes for people.
Get somebody a house, yeah.
And then she talks about the whole web designer thing and how they got it fixed. The web designer did it and she didn't realize it, but the situation got handled. And she just doesn't know why she receives all the hate that she does.
Listen here, tears don't move me. This is business. Right? You can't, everyone's not for you. And you have to accept that, right? Yeah. That was a big mistake of copying and pasting someone else's, especially contact information. How can people believe anything that you wrote or anything that you seen on that page that you wrote? You get what I'm saying? It takes away your business being legitimate.
Yeah, your credibility.
Right, exactly. So, I understand you could be frustrated. And granted, I'm only judging from a watcher is breaking that third or fourth wall. You know what I mean? I have no problem with her crying to her husband. But, of course, it's a show, so I'm only judging it based on the show.
Yeah.
I have no problem with frustration and things like that. But I just find it off-putting that every time something doesn't go Tisha's way or whenever something is hard, she's always brought to these situations of I'm just trying to do this or why are people doing this against me, why people don't like me, why that's why Marsau keep telling us throughout the seasons of Tisha stop it. Tisha, listen, when they call your dog, don't bark. You get what I'm saying? Basically you should be past this by now. And I think being a big fan of the show, I am off-put by Tisha's emotional breakdowns of the same thing, but just different situations. I don't know. It is okay, I understand, but people not for you. It's not for you. So it's I'm guessing I want more for Tisha to where I want to see some type of strength in some way. Maybe I'm off. I don't know. What did you think about this scene?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel any type of way. I mean, I feel like Tisha can be tired. She can be frustrated. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think you're right. I just think that's how Tisha is. I think she's just a sensitive person and where things bother her. And I think she does try to ignore stuff and to try to, acknowledge things and try to, even the situation with Nell when they were talking with Nell at the dinner with Chris and Nell was upset about not being invited. I thought she addressed it well, but when Nell brought it up again, I think that's Tisha just how she is, and she's just defensive because she's why are you bringing this up again? I already talked about it. Just kind of getting upset when it's just you don't have to get upset. You handled it so well the first time, but I think she just gets frustrated, and I just think she needs to work on that.
That's fair.
And I don't think anything is necessarily wrong with that. But the whole gambling thing, yeah, that's illegal. So yeah, you got to call it off.
You don't.
I think we need to call it off. I mean, are you going to go through the appropriate channels, or are you going to call it off? I mean, whatever. Do something else. So
I guess they.
I didn't feel bad about that. I was just y'all. And for me, I didn't realize it was illegal when I saw the last episode. I was like, oh, casino night, that'll be fun. But okay, it's illegal, so let's not be, oh, woe is me, I'm trying to build houses for the community. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, dang, I ain't know, thank goodness nobody came up and shut our stuff down. You know?
That would look much worse.
Exactly.
I guess they crying off the sense of like, who told on me?
Exactly. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, okay, somebody called the city of Huntsville probably being a hater or whatever like that. Of course. But I'm just like, shoot, I'd rather they call than the cops come in day of the casino night and something pop off and me just literally just being ignorant to the fact.
So basically,
I'm just like, oh dang, they kind of saved me. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the drawing board, baby.
Yeah.
So
continue.
I don't know. Yeah. Next, we're at the cookout with Kimmie and Maurice.
Yeah.
Courtney dropped Stormi off, and Stormi. They're trying to talk to Stormi and ask, oh, is Courtney coming in? Stormi's like, no, he's not coming. Mm-hmm. Kimmie and Maurice are trying to be like, oh, does he still have a problem? I thought we left the things at the meeting. And Stormi, she's just like, look, I'm done talking about my husband. He's not here.
Facts.
He can't defend himself, but he wants a plate. That's all I got to say. Mm-hmm. And
that's crazy, though. You can't get a plate.
Yeah, that's what Kimmie was like. You don't get a plate if you don't come. No, no.
Yeah, you don't get a plate. and Stormi, you should sneak him a plate. Like you know what I'm saying? Don't make it known that you go take a plate back home. Like, you know what I mean? But continue.
Yeah. And Marsau, he doesn't have an issue with anybody. Mm-hmm. Mel arrives and she's wearing I'm on what you on shirt. So she's ready for the smoke or whatever if it's coming towards her.
Okay, Mel, we see you.
Next that we see Nell, Chris, Tisha, Marsau. And they're all playing cards. They're grilling. Martell comes.
Here come Martell.
Tries to speak to Mel, but Mel's not speaking to him. Probably because y'all probably just got back from court and you probably said some crazy stuff.
Okay.
Martell is weird like that. We was at court at 8 a.m. this morning, and you want to kiki with me at 4 p.m. this afternoon.
Do we know if they was at court that morning?
No.
Okay.
So, allegedly. But I'm just saying that's the vibe.
I guess he just took it as look. So question: What would you want him to do? To just not speak to her at all? Or at least not try to speak to her at all?
No, he could speak, but I don't fault her for not. So I think it went how it should have.
Okay, so
all is well.
So what's the problem?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
Next, Keke arrived. She walks over to try to hug and talk to Tisha, and Tisha swerves her.
Let me stop right there. That was immature.
It was.
I feel like that's immature. And that's why people always have this like poor Tisha thing, because people don't think you have the capability to act like an adult all the time. Mm-hmm. You should have just accept right there. If you didn't want to speak, you didn't want to speak. You didn't have to speak. Or you could have just said hi. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Or you could have pulled her aside and be like, I heard and I don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to play these like high school lunch table type of like games to where like somebody come, all of a sudden you gotta go pee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just comes off as, and like, my whole thing is Keke was in the wrong the whole time. Whenever somebody's in the wrong, do not give them the ammo to say that you're in the wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? You should just continually be in the right and just be like, you know what? I don't want to talk to you, Keke, or you pull her aside and be like, me and you not on good terms. Mm. You get what I'm saying? But to be like, oh, excuse me, and then to get up and leave when Keke trying to talk to you, I'm like, that's immature.
It is.
Continue.
Well, Keke sits down, and she's trying to talk to Stormi while Stormi, Marsau, and Tisha are trying to play cards. Mm-hmm. And Keke is talking about how she gets blamed for everything, and she's trying to explain the situation about the rumor. And Keke gets mad because they keep talking over her. Tisha over here yelling for Maurice, asking for water and cards and all this type of stuff, trying to overtalk Keke. And Keke ends up snatching Stormi's cards and throwing them.
Talk about here. You won.
And then she ends up throwing a drink on Tisha.
Now listen here, right? So much happened in between before that drink happened. Mm-hmm. It's just, Keke, you look crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because even though Blair said they talking over you was talking over the game.
I mean, they was playing the game before you even got there.
So I'm like,
so they got to stop and shut up because you sit down.
You're talking to Stormi. Stormi is lost. Listen here. Stormi might have renewed her contract with me to be on this show, because I'm like, I am Stormi in this situation. Because Keke trying to talk to Tisha. Tisha's not listening. Marsau's not listening. He's over there smoking a cigar. They both ignoring her. And Stormi's like, I guess I'm here with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can talk to me, But then, like, you're talking, Stormi's in the confessional, like, I don't know what the heck she's talking about. Mm-hmm. And then you get mad to the point to where you actually knock a drink on your cousin?
Like, a full drink.
People
like
think,
she was drenched.
People think what they think about you on the internet. I'm not going to say it. You ain't going to Tasha K me. You're not going to Tasha K me. Because after every scene about Keke, Carlos King make it very known, just to let y'all know, no charges was filed on Keke.
I was like, how many times are they going to show this?
They got to say it every time. And guess what? I understand, Carlos. We ain't getting sued for Keke. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I think her name is Keke Jabbar or something like that. Uh-huh. Listen, I'm not going to say what people are saying, but don't try to make people right. Mm-hmm. Because I don't understand the scene at all. Yeah. I don't understand how you could deem yourself as the hero or the victim of, I'm just trying to tell you what the streets are saying. I care about you. And I'm like, so you knock a drink on her? Mm-hmm. Like I don't understand what happened. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, continue.
And that was pretty much it. I mean, the drink gets thrown. Marsau, he's trying to keep Tisha calm and telling her, okay, let's just get up. Let's just go. They get to walking out. Kimmie comes outside and they're like, Kimmie, either she goes or we go. You need to drug test that B. Call the police. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he says drug test, that's when Keke's husband gets activated. Yeah. And he started running around behind chairs trying to chase after Marsau.
I'm running too. That man too big. He should go tire himself out. Yeah. And of course they left us with to be continued. Carlos love a good to be continued boy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna use that hour to cut out some scenes. You know, we definitely didn't have to see that Maurice scene and things like that. We didn't even have to see the Keke scene. But my thing is like, yo, I feel like I don't advise this. So what I'm about to say, I do not advise this. I felt like Marsau was too calm for me after his wife got a drink thrown on her. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying hit her. That's not what I'm saying. No, I'm not. Don't put that on me.
The knee-jerk reaction would have been a little more.
I'm just saying, if my wife...
would have been some type of reaction.
Something got to happen. Mm-hmm. And when I say a drink was thrown on her, she was drenched. You get what I'm saying? Something has to happen to where a drink get thrown on my wife and I'm there. I'm not just going to be on some we go or she go. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. But when I say go, I don't mean I'm leaving.
You go off.
I'm going. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And many times than not, where I grew up and how we grew up, we never put our hands on women. We just look for your boyfriend or like your husband, whoever responsible for you in that moment. Mm-hmm. So like my thing is like, yo, everybody was acting unhinged. And when I say everybody, I mean Keke, mm-hmm. right? Like Tisha over there, like when Keke showed up, Tisha over there dancing with the cars. Like I don't have a problem with anybody. I don't have a problem with anybody. I'm like, what is wrong with Tisha? Mm-hmm. It just comes off as kitty. Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't have a problem with anybody. Mm-hmm. You know, and then a drink get thrown on you, and it's like, yo, what's going on with your side of the family? Because this is your cousin. Mm-hmm. This is your cousins, and maybe like some people view their cousins as a brother and sister relationship, but we seen the flashback where they was at that boxing gym or like the boxing work or whatever it was, when she told Keke, I don't want you, I want us to build a relationship about us. Do not come to me talking about my husband. Mm-hmm. You are not like Mel. You are not like Martell. You are not like my castmates. You are not like everybody who reviews the show. You are not like the fans of the show. You're my family. Mm-hmm. Don't come to me talking about my husband. And then in result of that, Keke throw a drink on her. I don't know what's going on with Keke. Mm-hmm. Pray for Keke. Yes. Maybe that's the title of this episode. Pray for Keke. Yeah. Or Keke, what's going on? What's going on with you? Right. You
Not everybody else and what the streets is saying that you don't think is true.
You're trying to distract us from your story.
Exactly.
We don't care about who's sleeping with Marsau. We've been hearing that since season 1. Y'all been showing us pictures of his back. Y'all been showing us videos that's not him. Y'all been showing us and having these accusations forever. We don't want to go back to previous seasons. We want to talk about you this season. Mm-hmm. Anything else, Blair?
Nope.
Y'all be good, okay?
Bye.
Bye.